Hi, I'm Benandorf, and welcome back to another episode of Victoria 2, Heart of Darkness. As we last left off, we were having a bit of an issue with some rebels in the home islands. Nothing too much to worry about, since we do have an army there. And we're building towards upgrading our navy from worthless, at least at this point in the game, commerce raiders to ironclads and cruisers. Maybe even battleships, depending on when those come available. That was something that was added in Victoria. Yeah, battleships would be possible. Anyways, that was something that was added in Heart of Darkness as a step between ironclads and dreadnoughts, as the capital ships. So let's get started. Someone has to go bankrupt. After all, it's the start of a new episode. So Algeria is the lucky one this time. I wonder if we gave them any loans. Yup, a whole 28 pounds that we'll probably never see again. Oh well. Not a big deal. I'm going to unsubsidize factories while the economy evens out a little bit. If anything closes, I'll just shut it down and go from there. Furniture factory. Not going to ever produce anything worthwhile there. Just too small of a state. But this should allow pops to shift, or craftsmen and clerks specifically, to shift from less productive and less profitable factories to more productive, thus boosting our industrial power and increasing income. And we did lose a couple of these provinces to occupation, but we will just grab them back very quickly. Now we're allowed to build monitors. We're not going to, but we are allowed to. And going to go ahead and resubsidize now. That should be enough time for most of these to have shaken out. Losing quite a lot of land here, but also wiping out the rebels without too much problem. So eventually this army will take care of itself. We've just invented ironclads, but also will not plan to build any of those because we will be able to build both cruisers and battleships with the current tech level that's possible. It looks like a couple... the UK and the US have jumped ahead of us because they went to war, it looks like. Presumably because of... the US is trying to free Washington, so good luck to them. Anything that weakens both of my rivals is good by me. There's just a couple rebels still active here in the countryside. The AI is being a little smarter about it and stopping some of the rebels from occupying, although they're probably going to let these 12,000 occupy one more thing. None of them are anywhere near my capital, so it's not a big deal. I'm going to... Raider Group Doctrine just finished, so while I build up a few new naval bases, I'm going to focus on weapon platforms so that hopefully by the time that one's finished researching and the blue and brown water schools, I will be able to build up to the next level of naval base, at which point I will get steel steamers, and then probably naval plans and naval professionalism, just to sort of pay lip service to those two columns. They're really the weakest of the columns from what I've seen, so not usually worthwhile. In the meantime, though, going to expand a few more of these bases, which is going to be expensive, so I'm going to raise taxes on everybody. Being the best isn't cheap. Sorry the pops have to pay for it, but it's important that we are able to upgrade our navy as soon as the technology allows. And every naval base is significantly more expensive than the last. Oh wow, and we've already taken this area or another province from the rebels, so it does not look like we're going to lose any more provinces. It's a matter of beating these last two, and then that army will siege the last area down and move back to where it started from. Looks like we're full up on influence in Spain, so going to decrease the influence of the UK. We are right on the edge of being third or fourth with against the UK while the UK is at war. So honestly, I'm very happy with the progress we've made in less than 50 years, considering we started as an unciv far behind the rest of these great powers. Oh, and electric machinery just showed up, which increases factory costs, but the increase in timber production more than makes up for it. War Games increases organization of my armies, which is, of course, very nice. It lets them fight for longer, at least from before routing, even if it doesn't help on the whole being completely devastated, decimated, and destroyed. Looking at the newspaper, more fun going on in South America, and more dinosaur stuff, plus little side articles about our victory over the rebels. Take that, rebels. The whole world knows that we're better than you. Which isn't really news, because the rebels of that small of a rising had no real chance of causing a revolution since I was at peace. But, a good try nonetheless, I suppose. They gave it the old college try. International crisis in Latvia. I am not going to join in on this one. I am not interested in a pointless war over the freedom of some Slavs I have never even... that I wasn't even aware existed up until basically now. Which isn't to say I don't know Latvia exists, but I phrased that all wrong. Regardless, not interested in that war. Let's just leave it at that. Oh, newspaper thing popped up. There we go. I'm going to keep expanding as many of these naval bases as I can. The taxes probably are hurting my economy a little bit, but I have to upgrade my technology, or the naval. I have to upgrade my navy. Ugh, I'm tongue-tied today. So, can't upgrade there anyways, even if I had the money. Railroads are being built. In fact, that's true of a lot of these areas. Hawaii will be another one to upgrade. That way, in case I do ever get around to invading North or South America at some point, I will have a good launching off point. Oh, never mind, I can upgrade naval bases and railroads at the same time. I guess today I learned. And mechanized mining in another state. So another nice big chunk of income. Newspapers, a crisis averted because no one was interested in going and dealing with it, and the US, and UK are at war, which are things we knew, but it looks like the US is winning this war. Great Britain, or UK, doesn't seem to have many troops over here, so it will be interesting. They may drop down another 2 or 3 spots, which is a big change from basically every game I played of Victoria 2 prior to Heart of Darkness. The UK was first in every category and all but impossible to catch. Looks like we finally can build a few more troops here in Korea, so I'm going to toss another infantry out here, just so I can get the 6th Army back up to 69, which is the ideal army size at the moment. I just realized there's some immature jokes that could be made there, but I assure you it was purely unintentional. Mechanized mining pops up in another state. Weapon platforms will be done here very shortly. Speak of the devil. So blue and brown water schools are next on the list of what to research. Still trying to upgrade as many of these ports as possible, or naval bases rather than ports, I suppose. They will not be up to snuff nearly in time to build up all of the new steel steamers, but it's a work in progress, and I was slow to get started, so such is life. And we're just going to keep progressing this. Infamy's ticking down. Once it gets below 15, I will switch over and start to get another war started with Siam. And I accidentally clicked through that a little too quickly, but the big invention was a plus 5% to farming from carbon soil enrichment, which is a very nice little invention. Should increase our income. Someone else went bankrupt. And yeah, it seems to have increased our income slightly. So for the I was going to decrease it, but I'm going to wait until we can expand all of these naval bases get expanded before I start decreasing taxes. We still have plenty to upgrade, so we need all the money we can get. And there's some extra attack, making our navies more powerful, plus oil production output. We're not producing any oil as of right now, I don't believe, but that doesn't mean that we won't pretty soon. And for our new ships, we will definitely need some oil, so the invention might come into play at some point. We can now create fuel if there's any oil available, which I'm not sure there is. I'm going to move this infantry unit up to the 66,000 men it will be joining. And we have enough money to upgrade another naval base. Oh, this one's still sitting at 1. Shame on me. We've dropped down to 3rd, but of course that's only because the US and the UK are currently both at war. Once the war is over, it should drop back, or they should both drop down below us, I should say. The US is making some pretty good headway. It's looking like the UK might give them Washington. It would be interesting, but Canada is being completely overrun. Maybe the US will even take bits of Canada. That would be interesting. It looks like we missed a couple newspapers. Ethiopia is afraid of Two Sicilies. I don't see why, considering Two Sicilies has fought them in about 4... Oh, well, that'd be why. Because Two Sicilies has been taking land and are currently at war with them. Mint juleps are again saved. I swear we already got this article. Mechanized mining in Tegu, which is somewhere. I'm actually not entirely sure. I could look it up, but it's really not important enough to me to find out where Tegu is. And we are almost at that point where we will start justifying another war with Siam. One last war to, at least as far as they're concerned, a war to end all wars. And once we've done that, we will even build a couple more units here in Southeast Asia and expand this army, the First Army, which has been here for so long and hasn't gotten the expansion of its more lucky, more northernly brothers. Being which, going to combine these armies. More civil violence. That's really getting annoying. I wish I could just turn them into states. Which, speaking of which, let's see. Wow, Colonial Zahili is just massive. I would love to be able to turn that into a state. Shandong is still slowly making progress. I'm not sure. I might try a national focus once we get another one. I might try a national focus to promote immigration. I'm not entirely sure how effective that is, if at all, but if it does turn out to be rather effective, getting these two, or even all 3 of these colonies as states would be just wonderful. But that's a little further down the road. Colonial incidents. Placing it in the sun against Spain. Looking at Spain, they are allied with myself and the Netherlands, neither of which would really be able to cause much of an issue. So, let's get cracking. First things first, I'm going to have to remove them from Sphere, which does unfortunately mean that I'm going to take 1 infamy. And I might have to decrease relations a bit, but I should have enough time. Krakatoa exploded. Oof. I should have enough time to... Yeah, because we're too... Well, first I have to dissolve alliance. Navy's got an upgrade. Very nice. And then... I'm not sure if I can... I can declare war right now. But... Trying to think. I will try and justify another war against them so that I will be able to get a second colonial. Oh, never mind, that won't work. I can't get two of the same CBs. So in that case, I'm going to send these commerce raiders down to keep an eye on Spain. And let's see which of these we want. Do we want Mindao, Visayas, or Luzon? Either Visayas or Luzon, because it has more provinces. And Luzon has a lot of fruit. Ooh, a lot of fruit. And a lot more people than Visayas. So it looks like Luzon is the lucky winner. I might take both, since I do have some infamy. It means I'll have to push back my conquest of Siam, but this is a pretty big opportunity. And this is a pretty... Kozo Seto will be the general of choice to lead this. Nice, the colonial exposition is opened, which gives us a nice huge chunk of prestige. So let's move this transport fleet. There we go, another level in naval bases. So next I'm going to do main armament, which will upgrade and speed up the time of build, so that I give a little bit more time to actually build up the naval bases that will be necessary to build cruisers and battleships. But our navy is quickly going from just completely obsolete to quite powerful. Alright, men, let's jump on board the hate train, because Spain is about to realize we were never on their side at all. Nitroglycerin just showed up in Kaesong. More mining effectiveness, which is always good. That event just sped up the building of navies. Balls. Looks like the UK... It looks like Spain just jumped into an alliance with the UK, which sucks, because that means I can either risk a war with the UK, who is admittedly still fighting with the US. Screw it. I'll just try and take this one province quickly and then white peace with the UK. Luzon will be mine. And I fully expect the UK to come in. Yep, as well as the Netherlands. Of course they did. But it may not matter. We'll leave these commerce raiders here. Worst case scenario, they will die to either Spanish or UK fleets, but as long as they're keeping them busy, it's okay with me. So I'm just going to have them move around around the Philippines and Indonesia, keeping an eye out for any enemies, and in the meantime going to move this transport fleet back to a safe port. And look, being at war jumped us up closer to France at least. Hopefully the UK doesn't have many units nearby, so it may not matter that they're at war with me. The Netherlands probably won't cause any issues, other than perhaps Borneo will jump in and take a few Brunei provinces. But if I can sort of do a blitzkrieg and conquer all of Luzon quickly, the war may be over before it becomes an issue. Alright, more lazy natives that need to adapt. How banal. And about to come up and actually fight Spain. And it's a one-sided battle. Looks like Spain has been neglecting their army tax. We, on the other hand, have certainly not been doing so, which means that we completely wiped them out without any problems. Still haven't seen any enemy fleets. Oh, and let's check the newspaper. Editorial about socialism destroying Western civilization, dinosaurs, and prices on oil have dropped because no one is using it right now. Where's the last? There we go. Unfortunately, no straits to all of these provinces. But I will need 10 war goal, or 10 points, and can only get it from battles, it looks like, since the occupation here doesn't count for anything, since it's the UK that we're actually trying to mess around with. So, no time like the present, I'm going to conquer some bits of the UK. Going to move the first army here to try and take some of these parts of British Malaya. And we'll see if the UK even responds, considering... Oh, well, they did peace out with the US, which I assume means... Yep, the US now owns Washington. But our army is much stronger than the UK, even with them mobilized. So they may just not really be willing to send troops to die against us. It would be interesting if we have more high-tech troops than they do. Be a very interesting sort of turn of events. The Tonga region has lost some militancy, which is nice. I'm going to speed up the game now for a little bit, because... Oh, more oil in Brunei. So we will actually produce some oil. It's not really that valuable yet, but it will be. Upper house rearranged, and we're starting to occupy. Finished the occupation here in Malaysia, moving to the next province. And finished occupying Luzon. Apparently none of these... Oh, there we go. The Netherlands is finally starting to show up. Probably going to send some troops to try and take home islands, which we have an army there to prevent exactly that. But enough of that. I'm going to start occupying some of Sumatra and just try and force the UK to accept a peace. It may be a while before I will be able to do so, but occupying Sumatra is a good start. And looking at the UK, they already have quite a bit of war exhaustion, so... Yep, look at that. I was right. They did try and occupy the home islands. And we're going to send this smaller army against them. I'm not sure we will be able to beat them, but if we don't, we will bring a bigger army. Pretty straightforward. And lost that occupation. Plus a crisis for Poland again. Poland is always causing issues. Wow, it will not take us long at all to conquer Sumatra, to occupy Sumatra. Come on, Japanese troops, show your worth. I'm going to support the botanical expedition. Oof, this is not going to be a good battle for us. Nice bit of loss of consciousness and militancy and prestige from Edo being a true capital of the world. I'm going to slow the game down a little bit again. Move these fleets to pull one of the armies in China over to the home islands. If the Dutch want a war, I will give them a war. And having no problems at all occupying Sumatra. And it looks like finally some British troops have shown up, so I'm going to have to destroy them with my double numbers. Plus a pretty good general to boot. And we're losing quite a few of these places to occupation. But we are also... Our transport fleet is on the way so that we will be able to move our unit from China over to the home islands and just completely destroy this Dutch army. Come on, transport fleet, move faster. Crushing victory for us against the British, which I will follow up. There we go. Now I can move Third Army, which will very quickly destroy the Dutch. I have complete confidence. And we got to this place the British were running first, which means the mountains have helped us, and so a complete wipeout. Yup. That will teach the Brits to mess with us. Still only at 6, but we're having the ticking war goal on our side, and once we reoccupy the places the Netherlands have taken in the home islands, should have no problem getting the UK to capitulate and give us Luzon from Spain. There we go. The Dutch are trying to attack. Oh, and they backed off due to the rebel flag being checked, apparently. They will be getting some reinforcements, just like that. Sucks to be you, Dutch. Main armament was finished, so going to do steel steamers. And speaking of which, checking on some of the... Gonna upgrade a few more of these naval bases. Even if we're at war, that's no excuse for neglecting our naval infrastructure. And I think all of our bases are currently being upgraded now, so... just have to wait for all of these to finish, and then we can upgrade them again, which will be even more expensive. And this army in Malaysia can't get anywhere else, so going to just move them back to stand next to Siam. Checking the newspaper, U.S. expanded and got Washington, specifically Seattle, in this newspaper. More stuff about dinosaurs, and some newspaper articles about our successes against the UK. Oof. The Dutch do have pretty good troops, but they're still trapped on our island with a very numerical inferiority, so they're pretty much screwed at this point, especially since I'm faster than them, so they keep being the attacking side. I'm going to follow up with my Homeland Protection Front and another successful occupation. See, almost to the 10%. Once I reoccupy some of these lands, I should jump to 10% and be able to force the UK to give in. Oh, looks like the Netherlands are still trying trying to come to the party. And I did not realize that I can walk right across the strait to Java. There we go, another successful occupation. So let's wipe out the rest of these troops, as well as the troops that have tried to take back Sumatra. It's funny that the Netherlands is pretty much the entire war on this front, with just a few British troops having even fought, and Spain never even showing up to the party. So I'm going to speed it on up. Crushing victory for the Japanese, leaving only artillery left for the Netherlands, who will get to their province after we do, which means we'll be on the defense, which means they're basically screwed. So we're going to move this big army back to the China. Yep, complete wipeout of the Netherlands troops or the Dutch troops rather, in Java. Oh. There we go. Had the army and not the navy selected. So, because it doesn't give us any war score, I'm going to ignore Java for now. But it's looking like surely the UK will give in soon, seeing as how I have just been destroying the Dutch and British armies and have occupied most of Sumatra, all of the British Malaysia. I'm pretty much just determining this war to my... Well, I'm pretty much just kicking ass up and down the Pacific right now. Or the Indian Ocean. I'm not really sure what this would be considered. Probably the Indian Ocean. Regardless. Ass being kicked. Names being taken. Newspaper being checked. Crisis averted. No one wanted to help Brest become Polish. Russia is now at war with Kiva, presumably due to one of those what is it? One of those something under siege events. I'm completely blanking on the word. The thing we kept getting against Egypt, or got at least once against Egypt. Alright, UK. Give in. Ticking war score will force you to eventually anyways. So, I mean, I guess if they don't want to give in, they can just wait and let the ticking war score do it. Looking at this, we have... I'm going to choose the one that gives us research points. The militancy and consciousness is worth 800 research points. Nitroglycerin in another state. And finished up occupying Malaysia. I wonder... Yeah, I can't reach any of these other islands through straits, so I'm going to occupy Java, just something to do. Actually, never mind, there's no reason to take attrition for no reason. So I'm going to move this army back up to Manchuria. No reason to leave them here. And just let the ticking war score eventually win this for me. Come on, UK, just give in. This isn't even a war anymore. I'm literally sitting here twiddling my thumbs. Battleship and Dreadnoughts just got an upgrade, which would be great if we had either of them buildable, but will, of course, eventually come into effect. Our navies just got faster, which is fairly great. So, let's move the navy back over here. Drop these troops off. Oh. Oof. And it may be time for the... It might just be time for these commerce raiders to die at this point. I'm retreating the transport fleet so that they won't take any more damage than they have to. They disengage without too much problem. And it looks like the enemy unit, mostly commerce raiders and man of wars, which are completely obsolete. So we might win this anyways, but our organization is probably lower than that of the Spanish. Oh no, and the Netherlands are trying to occupy some land in Southeast Asia. And Siam will not give us military access, which means we're going to have to eventually transport those troops. But we are winning this battle pretty... Oh, wow, complete wipeout of their troops. That'll teach them to use obsolete units. So, there we go. That's all I wanted, UK. I just wanted Luzon. There was no reason for all of these people to die. So that was a nice little distraction. Saved Siam for probably another couple months. And Old Man in the Sea event again, gonna lose the militancy, which has gone up quite a bit actually. I'm not sure why militancy has risen, but I will lower taxes once I get everything built, or all these naval bases built. Actually, because I have the money right now, I'll just go ahead and lower taxes for everybody. We're on a slight deficit. And turn that into a surplus by decreasing maintenance. No reason to keep it at maximum if I'm not at war. These commerce raiders did well, but they will soon be obsolete and replaced. So I'm going to stop it there for today. It's January 1st, 1887, a little on the later end of halfway point. Upper House got rearranged. We successfully beat the UK and Netherlands to take parts of the Philippines, which, while I'm at it, I'm going to expand one of the naval bases here. And so our colonial empire expands somewhat from a nice little event, and our eye is still on Siam for serious this time. I cannot imagine us not having conquered Siam by the end of next episode, so check back soon for more Victoria 2, Heart of Darkness.